Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I just finished up a review for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie from 2022, and I thought about a movie my mom and I actually recently watched I totally forgot about. As great as it is, and as much as I've loved it for so long, I haven't thought about this movie. It was on, I think, Tubi. It might still be on Tubi right now, but I happened to see it. We watched it maybe a month ago, and I love the flick. It stars my boy, James Cain, who was from Misery, of course, from Elf. You know the man. He just recently passed away, and I thought this could kind of be a nice little tribute to him. I love the flick. I think it's really, really solid. It's not perfect, but it's pretty fun. It's pretty nice for what it is. It's kind of a little bit of a found footage movie, a little bit of a mockumentary, but kind of not. It kind of can't really decide which one it wants to be, or just a regular old movie. It kind of cheats with that with some flashback stuff. Can't do that in a found footage movie without breaking a timeline. But anyway, it has a little bit of everything. It's kind of hard to explain exactly what this movie is, but this movie came out in 2016. It's about an hour and a half long. It's called The Good Neighbor. This flick is fantastic. If you haven't seen this movie, you're missing out. Essentially, there's a couple of guys who are kind of tech savvy, if you will. They decide to heckle this neighbor nearby, who they know is kind of a lone, what do they call him? When it's just a widower, right? Yeah, a widow is a woman, a widower is a man. I always forget. He's a widower. His wife passed away a little bit while back. And he's kind of just a grumpy, mean guy. He's always kind of been a little bitter. Nobody really knows anything about the guy. Some people suspect he might have killed his wife. Nobody really knows. But these kids decide that they're gonna pull some pranks on him and make him think his house is haunted. They're already kind of scummy assholes for trying to mess with an old man, no matter how rude and mean he can be. People have their reasons a lot of the time, and I think that's the reason this movie is so good. It really delves into that just because he's mean doesn't mean he's a bad guy. But they're heckling him. They're setting up cameras in his house to record him while this whole thing is going on, trying to film whatever horrifying things, whatever secrets they can find out. There also happens to be a basement cellar thing that's not really hidden, but it's kind of tucked away. It's got a lock on the outside of the door and everything upstairs where you can't get in and out if you'd happen to be down there. And the boys start to wonder about what could possibly be down there, and it kind of furthers our mystery a little bit about how odd this man James Cain's behavior is. It's such a good flick, and I really think everyone should see this movie. It's tense, it's creepy, not really in like it's not your typical kind of creepy. It's just a very eerie movie. It has a really good atmosphere to it. It's very well made for what it is, even though, like I said, it's kind of unbalanced on whether it's a found footage movie or a straight up regular movie with some found footage in there. That's a little bit messy, but everything else I think is really, really, really good. I think the performances here, everything from the two kids to the parents to James Cain especially, is really, really good here. But I'll tell you this, if you don't walk out of this movie in some sort of sad state of mind, something's wrong with you. You need to go to a doctor or a counselor or something, because something is wrong with you. It is such a good flick, and I really think it has a really great message about it. I think that it's not too preachy. I think it's good. It's a really good flick. And I remember seeing this, and there's another film, I can't remember what it was called, but I saw these two movies around the same time, way back in the day, in about 2017 or so, when I had Netflix. It might have been closer to 2016 when I saw this for the first time on Netflix. But I loved it then, and I really love it now. I want to buy a copy at some point and put it in my collection because of how good it was. Anyway, moving along though, I like the characters. I think everybody's good in here. Everybody's well cast. James Cain especially, he steals the show, dude. This movie, even though he's older at this point, this is after Elf. This is not even 5 years later that he passed away, you know. Probably 6 because he filmed it, I guess, in 2015. To not be so long ago when this came out, he's fantastic. He's so good. He steals every scene that he's in. I just love that man. He's such a great classical actor. Moving along to the writing is fairly strong for the most part, even though it's a little confusing with the found footage thing I talked about. But for the most part, very, very fun to watch, very engaging. I think the editing in here is a very big key for changing up the camera angles, changing up the little documentary thing. The two friends are starting to get a little tense towards each other. All of the acting is good there. I'm just very happy with it overall, as you can tell. The look of the movie is kind of cheap. It is kind of a lower budget movie, but it doesn't feel like the typical fodder you'd find on like a Tubi. Like you see something that looks cool, has a cool poster, has a cool idea, and then you watch it and it's made for like 2 cents. You know, it is no Blackwood Evil, which I've trashed for like a week and a half now since I had to sit through that garbage. It's fine how it looks. It is what it is. It looks its budget. If I had to put a budget number on this, I'd say maybe $100,000, maybe. But it's good. It fits it, really. There's not really any CGI or any kind of practical effects for this. It is just a straight-up kind of a thriller movie, if you will. Mystery, something like that. And it's good for that, really, honestly. The music here is fine. Sometimes the music doesn't need to be there, but it is, because again, the movie doesn't really know what it wants to be, but it's fine too. I don't really have much to say about The Good Neighbor. This might be one of the shortest reviews I have on my channel, but I'll tell you outright, it's a really good flick, and I highly recommend this film. I recommend it to anybody who likes kind of a different thing. This is something different that I think doesn't really take like a huge leap of faith into trying to watch it. I think it's just good for what it is, just from beginning to end. It has some really great, strong points to it. And again, that message there is something that I really, really love and respect. And I think you can't walk away from it not feeling sad. It stuck with me all these years. When I saw it on Tubi, I got really excited about that. Made my mom watch it. She loved it too. Never hearing about this movie ever. And it was great. I really recommend it. If I had to rate The Good Neighbor from 2016 on a 5-star basis, I would easily give this a 4 out of 5 stars. Really strong flick. Really good flick. Definitely a recommendation, like I said. What are your thoughts on this film? Have you seen it? What do you think about it? I'd love to hear all your thoughts and comments down in the comment section down below. What do you think about good old-fashioned James Cain? I love that man. One of his best performances in this movie, alongside Misery for me. Even though Misery's a better movie. You know, even so, overall, that's like a perfect movie when it comes to thriller-type stuff and kidnap movies and all that stuff. Anyway, what did you think about it? Put your thoughts, comments down below. Have you seen this? Is it one of your favorite James Cain films? I'd say for me, it's easily in my top 5 for him. Thank you guys for watching. God bless you all, and goodbye.